जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा गौरा प्रेमानंद हरे हरे बोल।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रव्यकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रव्यकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी के पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर धाम की नवदीप धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री श्री गुरु एंड श्री गौरंगा ग्लोरीज टू श्रील प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 14, Text 42. Nanav asya brāhmaṇa rajan Krishnasya jagad atmanaha punantaha pada rājasa त्रिलोकीं देवतां महत् नानवस्य ब्राह्मणा राजन् कृष्णस्य जगदात्मना पुनन्तः पादराजस त्रिलोकीं देवतां महत् नन्वस्य ब्राह्मणा राजन् कृष्णस्य जगदात्मनः पुनन्तः पादराजस त्रिलोकीं देवतां महत् नन्वस्य ब्राह्मणा राजन् कृष्णस्य जगदात्मनः पुनन्तः पादराजसा त्रिलोकीं देवतां महत्। नन्वस्य ब्राह्मणा राजन् नस्य जगदात्मनः स देवतां महत्।
Brahmana
Mataji's. Online, Zoom. Okay.
Nanvasya brāhmaṇā
Vasya Brahmana Rajan.
Krishnasya jagat atmana Unanta pada rajosha Tilakim daivatam mahat.
Nanu. But. Asya. By him. Brahmana. The qualified brāhmaṇas. Rajan. O King. Krishnasya. By Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jagatatmanaha. Who is the life and soul of the whole creation. Punantaha. Sanctifying. Padarajasa. Padarajasa. By the dust of the lotus feet. Trilokim. The three words. Devatam. Worshipable. Mahat. Most exalted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear King Yudhiṣṭhira, the brāhmaṇas, especially those engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord throughout the entire world, are recognized and worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the heart and soul of all creation. The brāhmaṇas, by their preaching, sanctify the three worlds with the dust of the lotus feet, and thus they are worshipable even for Kṛṣṇa. Purport. As admitted by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 1869, Nacha tasman manusheshu kashin me priya krittama. The brāhmaṇas preach the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world, and therefore, although they worship Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord also recognizes them as worshipable. The relationship is reciprocal. The brāhmaṇas want to worship Krishna, and similarly, Krishna wants to worship the brāhmaṇas. In conclusion, therefore, brāhmaṇas and Vaiṣṇavas who are engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord must be worshipped by religionists, philosophers, and people in general. At the Rājasūya-yajña of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, many hundreds and thousands of brāhmaṇas were present, yet Krishna was selected to be worshipped first. Therefore, Krishna is always the Supreme Person, but by His causeless mercy, He recognizes the brāhmaṇas as dearmost to Him. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 7th canto, 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Ideal Family Life. Om Ajnānatimirandhasya Jnānāñjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaiṣṇavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My obeisances to each and every one of you, and very grateful to be with all of you, especially today in the last day of Kartik month. It's a very auspicious day today. There are a lot of festivals. First is Tulsi and Shaligram marriage, Vivah is today. And second is Krishna Rasa Yatra. Again, Krishna performed his Rasa dance as he did in the first day of Kartik, which is called the Sharad Purnima. And today is the Kartik Purnima, full moon of Kartik. Third is the appearance day of Nimbarkacharya. Nimbarkacharya is one of the bona fide teachers of the Nimbark Sampradaya. As we know, there are 4 Sampradayas. So he's one of the teachers of that. So one is Brahma Madhav, our Sampradaya is Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. There is Sri Sampradaya for Ramanujacharya, and then there is Vishnujan Swami Sampradaya and Nimbark Sampradaya. So these 4 Sampradayas are there. So we are able to celebrate these festivals because of the sacrifice of lot of devotees, and Srila Prabhupada sacrifice his disciples. We have Dravida Prabhu here, Maharaj, and so many other disciples are there who sacrifice their lives to celebrate these festivals, to continue with these festivals for so many years. And this gratitude is not complete with those who are continuing it now, at the present moment. So we offer our gratitude to all of them, and then with their blessings we can discuss today's verse. The translation I will read again. Maybe you can also chant. My dear King Yudhiṣṭhira, the brāhmaṇas, especially those engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord throughout the entire world, are recognized and worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the heart and soul of all creation. The brāhmaṇas, by their preaching, sanctify the 3 worlds with the dust of their lotus feet, and thus they are worshipable even for Kṛṣṇa. So to begin with, I would like to invite Dravida Prabhu to inaugurate the class by sharing a verse on Krishna Rasa Yatra and then also exemplifying it, not only in words but also in action. Mic, Prabhu, can you hold the mic? Rasa Yatra. It's a Rasa Yatra. Yes. Yes, so this is the second Rasa dance, like the Dravida Prabhu says, one at the beginning of the month and this is the end.
I'll get the verse first. So this is a verse composed by Bilvamangal Thakur. in a little ashtaka here, which each verse ends with this phrase you may have heard before, Sanjago Venuna Devaki Nandana. In this way, Devaki Nandana plays his flute. The first one's about the rasa dance. Angana Mangana Mandade Madhavo Madhavam Madhavam Chantade Nangana Ittama Kalpate Mandale Manjiga Sanjago Venuna Devaki Nandana. So first I'll tell you what it means, then we'll have a little flute. Lord Madhava was situated between each pair of gopis, and the gopi was situated between each pair of his manifestations. And Sri Krishna, the son of Devaki, also appeared in the middle of the circle, playing upon his flute and singing.
And you can see Krishna on the altar today. There is a full moon in the background because today is full moon night, Purnima. And Krishna is having a flute, and with Shri Gaura, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. You have Krishna, Damodar, Yashoda, Damodar, so beautifully dressed by all the devotees today.
Okay. Two more little verses.
Yes,
Without the flute. This is Kvapive Nabada Ravana Kampita, Kvapive Nabada Kinkani Nartita, Kvapive Nabada Muntadam Gapita, Sanjago Venuna Devaki Nandana. When the vibrations of the gopis' venas caused him to tremble in ecstasy, when those venas inspired him to dance with his tinkling ankle bells, and when the venas inspired him to sing tenderly, then Devaki Nandana played upon his flute. And one more, which is my favorite of all time of these. Okay. Balaka talaka talalilalaya sanga sandarshita brudata vibhrama gopika gita davata naksvayam sanjago venuna devaki nandana. With his dancing eyebrows moving to the beat, playfully clapped out by the young gopis, and paying close attention to their singing, Devaki Nandana played upon his flute. So the gopis are clapping, he's moving his eyebrows, they're singing, and he's playing the flute with that. This is like a concert they're doing.
Haribol. Thank you. Huh? Anyone wants the verses can write to Dravida Prabhu at Dravida108, DRAVIDA 108 at gmail.com. Okay, there is a bonus which comes with the Sri Krishna Karanamrita at the end of the file. Thank you, Dravida Prabhu. So this verse is about preaching, and Srila Prabhupada begins the purport by Bhagavad Gita verse 1869. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakrittama bhavita nacha me tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Who is that? For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Imagine, you just have to share this secret to the devotees, and that's a path to going back to Krishna. This is the previous verse, like Prabhuji is saying, 1868. Mad bhaktesh abhidasyati bhakte mai param kritva mam evashyati ashamshaya. Without any doubt you will come to me. You just have to share it with others. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instructed Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Instructed Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. He said, Shuno Shuno Nityananda, Shuno Haridasa, Amara Agya Koroho Prikasha, Prati Ghare Ghare Giya, Koro E Shiksha, Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. So same instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Lord Nityananda and to Haridas Thakur. And we may think, oh, these are like brahmacharis, they are not family members. But then again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the same instruction to the Kurma brāhmaṇas who were grahasthas. They said, Mahaprabhu, we want to leave everything and join you. Then Mahaprabhu said, no, You cannot do that. Prabhu said, "Aishi baat hai kabhu na karibo, grahe raho hari naam sada laibo." Don't talk like this, that you leave everything. Who will take care of your wife, family, kids? Who will provide for them? You have to take care of them. At the same time, you stay at home. At the same time, you chant the holy name of Krishna. Grahe raho. Stay at home and Harinam Sada. Always chant the holy name of Krishna. That is what he instructed to Grihasthas. Huh? Yeah, that was general instruction also. Like, yeah. So, yes, so Dravida Prabhu is mentioning also to Grihasthas, wherever they are, they preach. Like we have Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was a Grihastha, he wrote a book, he sent to Oxford University. And also I was looking at one of the postcards he sent somewhere in Munich, Germany, where he wrote to the library to put his book on Lord Chaitanya into the library. And he also asked and inquired from them about the faculty members' names and how to pursue education there. So he was such an amazing communication, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I was so impressed by looking at that postcard. Not even he was sending his book, but he was also asking for a lot of things from them, for his information, to grow the relationship. Such amazing, just few lines of his reading, I was so amazed, and I learned so much from him. So yes, so these are the instructions that Krishna is giving, and whether it is Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, who are brahmacharis, or Srivas Thakur, who is a grahastha, both are doing the same thing. It's not that one can preach better than the other. Both can do best based on their ability. And Krishna in this verse, he doesn't mention which varna or which ashram you are in. Whoever can explain this supreme secret to the devotees, Krishna will give pure devotional service. And what kind of pure devotional service it has to be, as we heard in the previous verses of the same chapter, that one has to be non-envious. That is one of the qualities. Then the Lord is very pleased with us. We may have a lot of skills. We can do a lot of devotional service with so many skills, and externally it may look like very nice, but internally if we are envious of the devotees of the Lord or other people, then the Lord will not be pleased. So that is the spirit. And today is also a very auspicious day to do Govardhan Parikrama. If you go to Govardhan Hill, then a lot of devotees, they do Govardhan Parikrama. There's a lot of crowd there, even more than Govardhan Puja. People from all the villages, they come and circumambulate the Govardhan Hill. And this is when the Sharat Purnima begins, the Ras Leela, and Krishna plays the flute for the gopis in the Braj Bhumi. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized that the gopi abandoned everything, for the pleasure of Krishna, and portrayed the highest level of selfless service that could be done for Krishna. And Krishna said that I cannot repay for whatever you have done for me, for such a pure love that you have given me. And this month, today also we chanted the Damodar Ashtakam by Satyavrat Muni. Girdhari Priya Prabhu chanted it. And probably we have to wait till next year to hear that tune. There was one devotee who was visiting today, and he always comes in the Kartik in the morning. So Dravida Prabhu was saying that we'll see you next year in the mornings. Huh? He comes every day. So, yeah, maybe so. So this is the month when Mother Yashoda bound Krishna, and how Krishna is conquered by the love of his devotees. So such an intimacy is there of the personal nature of bhakti in the prayers. He prays, my dear Lord, I do not want any material benefit. I do not want even liberation. What I want is your beautiful form as Gopal Balam. That is what I am aspiring for. So that your pastimes are enacted within my heart. That is what he is praying. So, little bit on the Damodar Leela. I want to just one lesson I want to share. I'm sure you have heard, but one lesson I want to share on this. So, as we know, the Diwali also falls in the month of Kartik, and on the day of Diwali, Mother Yashoda, she was preparing, sweets for little Krishna, Damodar, and there is special kind of grass, as we know, Padmagandha grass, that Nanda Baba will procure for some of the cows, so that when they eat that grass, they produce nice sweet milk, that has special fragrance. He has 900,000 cows, and these are some special cows. So Mother Yashoda was churning butter in the morning. She was doing this, and she was feeding Krishna milk. And as we know that the milk was kept on the stove, there's like wooden fire and like earthen stove, and the milk started to boil and come out. And Mother Yashoda put Krishna on the side, and she ran to make sure the milk doesn't comes out. So Krishna became very externally angry or crazy, and what it teaches us, one of the important lessons that I really liked here is that we should not put pleasing Krishna second to anything. Pleasing Krishna should be our first priority. So Mother Yashoda left him to look for the milk. So, sam siddhi haritoshnam. Everything we should do is for the satisfaction of the Lord. And to the degree we surrender to the Lord, to that degree Krishna will reciprocate. Ye yathamam prapadyante. So if we put anything in front of Krishna, then we will not be able to realize Krishna. So our priority should be Krishna. So many times we have seen that devotees, when they are in devotional life, sometimes due to association, they get little bit distracted, and it may seem like a good association, but still, Krishna becomes second in the life. It becomes a second priority. So then it is very, very difficult to see that, to realize Krishna, or to feel that reciprocation from Krishna. So our priority should be Krishna, first priority. And similarly, when we are chanting, if we can put chanting as our first priority in whatever other things we are doing, because in the morning if we are looking at the phone, there are so many messages, so many distractions. So if we put that our first priority, I want to respond to this email, or I want to do this. And it's like a vicious cycle. Once you get into one thing, another thing, the third thing. And during the whole chanting, you are only thinking about that email. And it happens to me, that's why I'm sharing it. So I try to keep away from the phone and all those things. So, so keeping Krishna as the first priority. So Krishna took a stone and broke the pot of yogurt. He got really angry. And then there was a butter hanging, and he took a grinding mortar, and then he broke it and started eating butter. So, and all the monkeys and friends, everybody was there, and he also shared with them. And the monkeys are ghee, 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 ghee. I can't really make that sound, but monkeys are also eating butter, and Mother Yashoda followed the butter footprints. And Krishna was very fearful. Yashoda bhiyo lukha. Krishna was very, very fearful. And she had a little stick, so that he behaved properly. And he was running, and Mother Yashoda was running after him. Both of them were running, very fast. But how can Mother Yashoda catch him? You cannot catch the absolute truth. He's faster than the speed of the wind, faster than the speed of the mind, right? And Mother Yashoda caught him, and he started to cry, and her lips were quivering, and his body was trembling. And Queen Kunti remembers in her prayers that Krishna, whose fear personified, was feared by Mother Yashoda. So Krishna is like not fearful of anything. In Vrindavan, like he killed so many demons without any weapons, right? Just with his stick hands, and like Putana or Shakatasura or Vakasura. He didn't use anything. In Dwarka he used his weapons, Sudarshan and other things, but in Vrindavan he didn't use anything. So who can be, Krishna, how can he be so fearful of anybody? So this is little about this lesson from the Damodar Leela of putting Krishna as the first priority. And yesterday I was hearing Srila Prabhupada's short means a 1-minute video on YouTube. So that short, Prabhupada was saying that Krishna is the richest person and we are the sons of Krishna. So if your father is rich, then why you have to worry so much? So you just take shelter of Krishna. So it was very nice because everybody is in so much anxiety about so many things. And today is also Bhishma Panchak, last day of Bhishma Panchak, 5 days. So I was very fortunate to hear Dravida Prabhu chanting these prayers of Bhishma from the first canto, 9th chapter. So very, very beautiful prayers. If you get a chance, then please read it. Yeah, last time he will chant again. So if you want to stay after Srimad Bhagavatam class, just take 4-5 minutes. So we can chant together or hear together. So Bilva Mangal Thakur in one of his prayers talks about Bhishma Dev and Krishna. So I'll just chant that 4 lines. So if you want to repeat, you can repeat after me. Govinda Govinda Hare Murari, Govinda Govinda Hare Murari, Govinda Govinda Mukunda Krishna, Govinda Govinda Rathanga Pane, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Govinda Rathanga Pane. Rathanga Pane means one who had held the wheel of a chariot. Rath Anga. It's the Anga or the part of a Ratha or the chariot. He is holding like this and he is charging like a lion charges towards an elephant. Srimad Bhagavatam describes so beautifully. Srimad Bhagavatam has everything. These adventures, fights, whatever you like, everything is there. So he charges towards Bhishma Dev, trying to kill him. So as we all know how Bhishma Dev was on the side of the Duryodhan and opposite to Arjuna's party, and this fight was going on. And little bit about Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev, when he was very young, his father actually fell in love with a woman and he wanted to marry her. Fisherman's daughter. But the fisherman was little apprehensive that he already has a son, Bhishma. Earlier his name was Devarat. So if he marries my daughter, then my daughter's children cannot take over the kingdom. They cannot become the heir. So he will become the king. So he put a condition that until you promise me that you will not marry, he talked to Bhishma that until you promise me not to marry, until then I will not give my daughter to your father. So he said, yes, I take a vow, I will not marry for life. And whoever are the children of your daughter, they will become the next king. So then they got married. So now imagine Bhishma Dev is a brahmachari, he never married. And in this verse, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains about the Rājasūya sacrifice, where Bhishma Dev was also present. So Rājasūya means the one who performs the sacrifice in that assembly. All the princes of the world are invited. And they select that one person as the emperor of the world. That is Rājasūya. So in that yajna or fire sacrifice, there are a lot of princes present. And Kṛṣṇa was proposed to be the president of that assembly. Although he was very young, he was just 16 years old. So Kṛṣṇa had a lot of enemies, and two prominent were Shishupal and Dantavakra. And they were very much against Kṛṣṇa. So they said, no, Kṛṣṇa cannot be the president of this assembly. He cannot be that president. So there was a protest. So now Bhishma Dev comes into picture and he says, nobody is as spotless as Krishna here in this assembly. Imagine Bhishma Dev is saying. And he said that Krishna, when he was 16 years old, he was surrounded by all the girls and he never had any desire, sexual desire. And I am a brahmachari from birth. I think I could not be as restrained personality as Krishna. So Bhishma Dev is attesting to Krishna's spotless character. So he recommended this. That is mentioned in Mahabharata. That is the character of Krishna. So such an important lesson on character. So a preacher not only speaks with his words, but also speaks through his action. We say that words of action and action of words, right? Whatever we are speaking, that should also be visible in our actions. So a preacher can exemplify just by the example. That is called acharya, through that acharana or character. So, and preaching, many times we see preaching is the one who is just giving the class. No, preaching can also be someone who's, cleaning the temple through their example, cleanliness, through cooking, such a nice prasadam, that can have a impact. Pujari who's offering the bhoga to Krishna, who is dressing the deities, or who is hearing. Even hearing is preaching, because when you are hearing and sitting in the Srimad Bhagavatam class, you are exemplifying, you are saying that, this Bhagavatam class is a first priority for me. I have so many other things to do, but I am in the Bhagavatam class. So just by sitting in the class is also preaching. Not only the speaker is preaching. So there are so many different ways to preach. All these. Yes, like Tapas Prabhu, he is arranging for YouTube Live, Instagram, Twitch, so many channels. He has put so much of software and cameras and Zoom and everything. So that is also preaching. Temple management is also preaching. Balaram Prabhu is doing manage, is putting the chakra and so many other things. So that is preaching. Going for book distribution, that is obviously Prabhupada's one of the favorite. One time everybody asked Srila Prabhupada, what is your favorite service that we do to Krishna? Is it preaching or cooking or deity worship or chanting? So everybody was just waiting. What would Srila Prabhupada say? Probably he would say book distribution or preaching or something. But then Prabhupada answered that the favorite, I will be very pleased when you love Krishna. So whatever activity we are doing, if we do with love for Krishna, that is the perfection of our endeavor for Krishna. So, as we know, Srila Prabhupada reminds us of all his preaching activities. He got an instruction on that rooftop on Ulta Danga Junction Road, where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him the instruction that you are an intelligent young man, why don't you preach the teachings of Lord Chaitanya all over the world in English language? And Srila Prabhupada prepared for it for more than 40 years. That instruction was in 1922. 1932 he got both first and second initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and 1965 he came. So he prepared for the preaching activity. So and he translated all these books. So when we are preaching, we have to do our best to the best of ability that we can preach. And Srila Prabhupada, as you can see from his example, so much of sacrifice and pain he has taken, because of which we are all able to celebrate this beautiful festival of Damodar month, Kartik Purnima. So with a grateful heart, if we can thank Srila Prabhupada, all those who are helping him and those who are doing it now, then we can actually celebrate the festival in the right spirit, and we can chant the holy name in the right spirit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Huh? Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, please, yes.
Two of them are about Krishna as a baby. One of them is about running away from his mother during the Damodara Leela, and the other is just how he's crawling and charming everyone.
Yeah.
And the third one has to do with the rasa dance.
Okay.
When the gopis first go out, and they come out, he played the flute, they all ran away, and they, from their homes and everything, and they're there, and then he's kind of teasing them. So he's kind of cheating them at first. He says, "Oh, very nice you come, but it's very dangerous. You should go back." Remember that? He goes. So here's the one. First is crawling, and just see the sound. Now this is from the Krishna Karnamrita number 2. There's actually 3 of them. Kinkini kinkina dabasadangana buvadingana sadatantam kunkunu kunkunu pariyugadam kankana kadabushadim hadim vande. Even if you don't know the meaning, just the sound. So I put it into a little poem. I bow to Hari, whose waist bells tinkle as he crawls in his father's yard. His bangles and ankle bells softly jingle as he melts Vrindavan's heart. That's verse number 1. Now, this is when he's running from his mother after stealing the butter. Sambade sunabinam ambam ayasada. Sambade sunabinam ambam ayasayantamanayantim. Lambalakamabalambe tambalam tunabalagna jambalam. You have to be deaf not to hear the poetry in that. His mother grows tired while chasing her son as he runs among the Surabhi cows. I ever take shelter of Nanda's boy who's muddy from the pasture's ground. So what he's doing, we get this, he ran from his mother and she eventually caught him. But he's also running out into the meadow with the Surabhi cows. Now she's much bigger, he's so small, he can run under the cows. See? So he's running under, he's tripping a little bit, falling into the milky mud, milky mud, right? It's all muddy from the milky mud. Then he gets up, so he's covered with the mud, his cake. So this is the image that he sees. And the last one is when the gopis first come, to meet him, and so Anchita pitchachudam vanchita saujanna vallavi valayam adadamanini hit venum badam goparanamishamalambe. He's placed his flute to his ruby red lips, a peacock plume on his curls. That cowherd boy may eternal shelter cheats all the virtuous girls. So he cheats them when they first come out. He says, "Oh, this is very bad. Adultery is very bad, and it's very dangerous out here." There's all, so he's testing them.
Cheating.
So then they complain. They start moving their feet in the mud. And then so they pray to him and said, "Okay." So they start walking, and they become proud. Then he disappears, and that's the whole thing. So there you go.
He also played the flute, though, right?
Yeah.
He plays the flute.
Okay, hold the mic. Somebody. And this is pure love of Krishna and Gopi. It is not like Bhishma Dev is saying to Krishna, he was 16-year-old when he was doing this dance, and he never had that desire to enjoy anyone like we think in this world. So we should never think rasa dance as this material kind of dance.
One of the prayers of Bhishma, he's remembering the rasa dance.
Oh, is it?
How the gopis were imitating Krishna's Leela and everything. He's remembering that, even while he's lying on that bed.
Generally, we have to read the 10th canto to discuss about all these things. So those who have not read the 10th canto, now it's a motivation for you to read the 10th canto. From 1st till 10th. not that directly go to 10th. Can we go directly to that? Today? Okay. It's a concession given by Dravida Prabhu, so we can probably go do that. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the beautiful verses. Yes.
The purport says, preach the cult. The brāhmaṇas preach the cult of Krishna consciousness all around the world, and therefore, although they worship Krishna, actually, I'll stop here. So, obviously, we understand that when you start preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness, you're not a. I mean, in many cases, you're not a brāhmana yet. So, how does one become a brāhmana in preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness?
You mean by brāhmana like second initiation or?
Like a madhyamadhikari, yeah, second initiation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, preaching doesn't require that. So here, like other purpose also, it is Prabhupada mentions difference between Vaiṣṇavas and brāhmaṇas. So we are already, Vaiṣṇavas are greater than the brāhmaṇas because they are worshipping the Lord. So the brāhmaṇas preach the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world. The brāhmaṇas want to worship Krishna, and similarly Krishna wants to worship. So brāhmaṇas, I think, is a term which can be used for Vaiṣṇavas and brāhmaṇas like interchangeably. So even if we are not second initiated, or even if we are not initiated, I mean, anybody can, who are from their heart, if they are connected to the teachings of Vaishnavism, then they can definitely preach. It's not about being second initiated or first or anything. I think you can.
In other words, through preaching, you develop brahminical qualities. Yeah. How do you develop? Yeah.
Oh, how do you develop those?
If you could share something, your realizations.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can share your realizations. You are distributing books, so you are developing those qualities. You are developing tolerance when somebody is not taking the book. You can share.
I don't think I have many realizations. I'm very intolerant and ignorant. Just only striving and trying.
Yes. Yeah, these are brahminical qualities, Prabhu. Yeah, I think. I don't know. We have to be very intelligent. So I remember one book distributor in India. He was distributing books in the train, Mumbai metro train. So these trains are so packed you can't enter it. But what the local people say, there is always space for one more person. So he was inside the train, and he was giving Bhagavad Gita. He said, how much is this? He said, it's 75 rupees, which is around $1. So he said, but Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita for free in Kurukshetra. And why are you charging me 75 rupees? You give me for free. So he said, where did Krishna spoke? He said, Kurukshetra. Where are you? Mumbai. Then 75 rupees transportation charge. And one time he was in the train only. He was like packed with everyone. He can't even get his hand to the bag, So the person opposite said, I want Bhagavad Gita. He said, take out from the bag. So he put his hand, he took it out, the other person who wanted it, because he couldn't move his hand, the devotee. And they said, how should I pay you? He said, I have 100 rupee. So he said, put 100 rupee in my pocket, take out, there is a change, take it out. So then devotee said, I realize that Krishna is the doer. I cannot do anything. So these are brahminical qualities you can learn, that Krishna is the doer, we are not doing. All these books are getting distributed by Krishna and Prabhupada's mercy, Guru Parampara. So
story, I don't know if you read, this book by Vijay is truly the treasures of the Brihad Vadanga. He's got all kinds of stories in there. Mm-hmm. So he had the story about Shivaram Swami. Before he was a Swami, he was a book distributor. I think he joined in Toronto or maybe Montreal, I forget. But he was Canadian, but he was distributing in Chicago, I think in Chicago Airport. So they somehow the book distributors got together and said, we don't even have to speak. We can distribute without speaking, saying anything. So there was like a challenge, who can distribute books without saying a word. So he describes how he met one man and he shook his hand, and he showed him the book. He didn't say a word. He pointed to the book, and he indicated he should read a line or two in the book, And the guy was very responsive, he was appreciating it. Then he pointed to his wallet, that it cost something. It was all mime. And he said there was a certain, this gentleman was entering into this mood, from reading the book and encountering the devotee, that he was just, enlivened by the whole experience. And he took the book and was, and I don't know, he didn't describe what the other devotees were all doing, but it was really amazing that he was able to distribute the book. I don't know if he did it again that day, without even saying a word, just showing the book and indicating, mute, read it, and then he was reading and getting enlivened by reading it like that. So that book is, we must have some copies here, hopefully. But it's an amazing book, so many stories. There's one devotee named Suresh, and I remember him from way back in 1976 or something, because I was working on BTG in LA, and we needed it was Rathayatra time, and we needed a picture, for the cover. And there was this picture, a close-up picture of Suresh in a parade in Philadelphia. It's a famous parade. Every year they have it at that time, and it was part of the parade. Anyway, so then I heard a story about him distributing in Los Angeles in the 70s, late 70s. And Prabhupada was still on the planet, and they sent him to the most difficult part of the town. I forget it is, but there's a lot of gangs there and everything like that. And so he went there, and he did collecting, but it was very poor. So all day he was collecting quarters. He had a little Lakshmi collect. At the end of the day, there was this gang came around. They're famous, called the Crips, because they're famous for crippling their enemies.
Crips.
And they said, "We see you've been collecting all day, so give us the money." He says, no, this money belongs to Lord Chaitanya. I can't give it to you. We're going to beat you up. He said, I don't care. So they punched him hard.
Oh, I see.
So then he closed his eyes and he started just praying to the Shringadev. The Shringadev, the Shringadev, the Shringadev, the Shringadev. And he opened his eyes. They were gone.
Wow.
They were all gone.
Yeah.
But he was a little injured, so he went into, it was like a shopping mall, so he went into what would be a CVS today, And as he approached, he saw the guy behind the counter, and the guy ducked behind the counter and was afraid of him. And he didn't know what he had seen, but maybe he'd seen the Shringadev come, because the other guys, they're gang members, they all split. So that's the story. And he came down here after Madhusudan passed away, and there was a nice gathering here of people who knew him, And he came down. I'd never met him before, but when he told me his name, I reminded him of that past him and said, yes. And the part about him going into the CVS and having that I'd never heard before. That was
he
just
told
about
you?
that everyone had run away.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.